Last-minute bombshell. Manchester United is ready to let go of one of its players to make a radical signing. Leave your like, subscribe, share, and let's go. Manchester United are reportedly exploring a sensational move that would see academy graduate Casemiro used as a makeweight in an audacious bid to lure Federico Valverde away from Real Madrid. According to fresh reports emerging from Spain, specifically via Defensa Central, the Red Devils have tabled a proposal worth £43.6 million plus the inclusion of Matheus in exchange for Valverde. The 27-year-old Uruguayan midfielder is considered one of Real Madrid's most important players, a key cog in Xabi Alonso's system, and a figure who has previously been labelled irreplaceable by former manager Carlo Ancelotti. On paper, the idea of Valverde swapping the Santiago Bernabéu for Old Trafford is an enticing prospect. The midfielder is widely regarded as one of the most complete players in world football, equally comfortable in a box-to-box role or in a more advanced position on the right. His work rate, versatility, and ability to dictate transitions have made him a cornerstone of Madrid's midfield for several years. However, the reality of the situation tells a different story. Valverde extended his contract in 2023, committing his future to the Spanish Giants until June 2029. More importantly, he has consistently reaffirmed his loyalty to Madrid. During the summer, he went as far as to say, "I will never leave Real Madrid. If they want me out, they have to kill me." Such declarations have only strengthened the belief among Los Blancos supporters that he is untouchable. That's why, despite United's reported approach, the chances of such a blockbuster deal materializing remain incredibly slim. The proposal itself has already sparked widespread debate among United fans, many of whom are adamant that Casemiro should not be sacrificed under any circumstances. Matheus, a product of United's famed Carrington Academy, is one of the brightest young talents to emerge at the club in recent years. Elegant on the ball, tactically intelligent, and mature beyond his years, the 20-year-old has already shown flashes of the kind of midfielder he can become. For many fans, he represents the future of the club, a homegrown star who embodies the spirit of Manchester United. Yet, there is an undercurrent of frustration surrounding Matheus' current situation. Despite his promise, the youngster has been given limited opportunities under Ruben Amorim this season. Across United's opening 5 Premier League fixtures, Matheus has featured for just 73 minutes. He was an unused substitute for the first 2 matches and has yet to start a single league game. His only involvement in United's recent 2-1 win over Chelsea came in the 87th minute, when he replaced captain Bruno Fernandes in what was little more than a cameo. Amorim has previously suggested that Matheus is competing directly with Fernandes for a starting role, which all but ensures his playing time will remain limited. It is a frustrating scenario for a player who, just over a year ago, was being tipped as a long-term starter in United's midfield. The timing of this lack of minutes is particularly problematic with the 2026 World Cup looming on the horizon. Matheus was part of England's Euro 2024 squad under Thomas Tuchel and is eager to maintain his trajectory at international level. But with so little game time at club level, his chances of securing a place in Tuchel's squad for the tournament could diminish rapidly. For that reason, whispers are growing that Matheus himself might push for a move in the January transfer window if his situation does not improve. From United's perspective, there is no denying that Valverde would be a dream signing. His arrival would instantly elevate the quality of the midfield, offering Amorim a player capable of performing in multiple roles with consistency and intensity. However, to sacrifice Matheus, an academy gem, for a deal that still requires a hefty financial outlay seems to many like short-term thinking. The club's hierarchy is under pressure to deliver results and rebuild the squad in line with Ineos's vision for the future. But selling or including Matheus in a player plus cash swap could risk alienating supporters who want to see more emphasis placed on youth development and homegrown players. After all, United's history is defined by its faith in young talent, from the Busby Babes to the class of '92. Letting Matheus go so early in his career would run counter to that tradition. As things stand, the likelihood of Real Madrid entertaining United's proposal is almost non-existent. Valverde remains firmly entrenched in Madrid's plans, and the player himself has given no indication of wanting to leave. For United, the priority may instead shift to ensuring Matheus feels valued and receives more opportunities, lest they risk losing one of their most promising assets either through frustration or through a misguided transfer strategy. For now, this story remains more a reflection of United's ambition than a realistic possibility. While fans would welcome a world-class player like Valverde in Amorim's midfield, the overwhelming sentiment is clear, not at the expense of Casemiro. Manchester United have reportedly set their sights on Oyhan Sanset, the talented Athletic Club Bilbao midfielder who enjoyed a breakout season in La Liga. The 25-year-old was one of the standout performers in Spain last term, registering an impressive 17 goals and 3 assists across all competitions. His contributions not only underlined his attacking prowess but also solidified his reputation as one of the most complete midfielders currently plying his trade outside of the Premier League. For United, the attraction is obvious. The Red Devils have leaned far too heavily on Bruno Fernandes for creativity and goals from midfield over the past few campaigns. Whenever Fernandes is absent or off form, United often look bereft of ideas in the middle of the pitch. Bringing in another dynamic option like Sanset could provide Ruben Amorim with the balance and depth his squad desperately needs. What makes Sanset such an appealing target is his versatility. Tall, technically sound, and intelligent in his movement, he is equally capable of operating as a second striker, an advanced playmaker, or even a roaming box-to-box midfielder. His knack for finding space in the final third, combined with his eye for goal, makes him a constant threat. In many ways, he offers the kind of goal-scoring instinct that United's midfield has lacked beyond Fernandes. However, securing his signature will be far from straightforward. Reports from Fishages indicate that Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur are also monitoring the Spaniard closely. Both London clubs see Sanset as an ideal reinforcement for their attacking units, particularly Arsenal, who are seeking to add more goals from midfield as they continue to push for domestic and European success under Mikel Arteta. Tottenham, meanwhile, view him as a potential long-term centerpiece in their evolving project under Ange Postecoglou. Athletic Club have made their stance clear: they will not let Sanset go cheaply. His contract contains a release clause set at €80 million, approximately £70 million, a figure that instantly makes negotiations more complicated. United, for all their financial muscle, are not expected to trigger that clause outright. Instead, they may attempt to bring Athletic to the table with a more reasonable offer, potentially testing the Spanish club's resolve with structured payments or performance-based add-ons. For Sanset himself, the opportunity to join Manchester United could represent the next logical step in his career. Athletic Club, while respected in Spain for their unique Basque-only player policy and their historic significance, cannot offer the same global platform or competitive opportunities as United. A move to Old Trafford would give him the chance to compete for Premier League titles, play in the Champions League, and test himself against the very best players in the world. That said, there is also a strong pull towards staying in Spain or moving to another ambitious project like Arsenal. Arteta's side have been competing at the top of the Premier League for the past 2 seasons and look well placed to challenge again for major trophies. Sanset may be tempted by the stability, the tactical style, and the opportunity to slot into a team already performing at an elite level. Tottenham, too, could appeal, particularly given the attacking freedom Postecoglou affords his midfielders. For Manchester United, much will depend on their own trajectory this season. If Amorim can steady the ship and guide his side back into the Champions League places, the prospect of joining United becomes far more enticing. Without European football, however, convincing Sanset to reject Arsenal or Spurs could prove extremely difficult. United's transfer strategy under Ineos has emphasized both immediate quality and long-term building blocks. At 25, Sanset fits perfectly into that model. He is young enough to improve and grow, but experienced enough to make an instant impact in the Premier League. The challenge lies in balancing the financial demands with the club's budget after a summer in which over £200 million was already spent on new arrivals. The question of whether United will go all in for Sanset also ties into the future of their current midfield. Casemiro is expected to depart in the near future, Christian Eriksen is past his peak, and Casemiro has yet to cement himself as a consistent starter. Bruno Fernandes cannot continue carrying the creative burden alone. In that context, Sanset looks less like a luxury signing and more like a necessary investment. For now, the race remains wide open. Arsenal's recent track record of competing for titles gives them an edge, while Tottenham's ambitious rebuild also offers Sanset an intriguing option. But Manchester United, with their history, global profile, and financial capability, cannot be discounted. If Avram and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are willing to push hard enough, Old Trafford could yet be the Spaniards' next destination. What is certain is that Santos' performances have already placed him on the radar of Europe's elite. Whether he stays in Bilbao, joins Arsenal, Spurs, or United, the coming months will be decisive in shaping the next chapter of his career. Let us know in the comments if you think Manchester United could ever bring these coveted new players to Old Trafford. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.